The Cayo Perico zombie survival is finally here, and you want to know the easiest way to beat all 10 rounds? Well, I got you. In this video, we're going to go over the different types of enemies you'll face, the locations you'll fight them, and some tips and tricks to make your life a bit easier. But before we dive into anything, guys, if you're not already, please subscribe as it massively helps the channel. We're trying to get to 20k by the time GTA 6 comes out, and it is genuinely massively appreciated. But yeah, Cayo Perico zombie survival. First of all, if you've played it, what do you think of it? Comment down below. I'm having an absolute blast playing it, and if you've already played it and you've got to wave 10, then you probably don't need to watch this video, although there might be some tips and tricks that might help you. Now, before we do anything, make sure you have full ammo, full snacks, and full armor. And if you don't already, make sure you have the special carbine Mark II, the minigun, and the assault shotgun. And with the preparations out the way, let's dive straight into this thing, with the first location being outside of El Rubio's compound. This is where rounds 1 and 2 will take place, because unlike the North Yankton survival where it was just in the cemetery, on the Cayo Perico survival you move to 4 different locations, the starting area being outside of the compound. Now, these first 2 waves are ridiculously easy, so I don't really need to give too much tips, but you will encounter a couple zombie types within these first 2 waves, with the first being the regular zombie. Now, these guys are slow and have no health early into the game, but as the survival progresses they get faster and can tank more bullets. But you're also introduced to another type of enemy, which is the skeleton, and this guy wields a musket and full armor, and he's completely bulletproof. The only way you can beat the skeleton is by meleeing him, and thankfully he is a one-hit melee, and I believe it stays that way throughout the entire survival. Now, because the musket takes so long to reload and this guy doesn't have great aim, it's quite easy to kill him. All I'd say is try get him by himself so you're not meleeing him and then getting attacked by loads of other zombies. But in the second round of the survival, we're also introduced to the Panther trainer, who, as you can see, is actually Gustavo, which is the person El Rubio feeds to the Panther in the opening cutscene of the Cayo Perico heist. Now, he spawns in panthers, and if you know how the undead animals work from last year, it's the exact same. Basically, they'll chase you and then they bite you, and it creates an inflicting damage effect, meaning for a period of time you're going to keep taking damage from this panther bite. Now, the Panther trainer is quite annoying because the NPC actually knows how to hide, so you'll usually find him running around the outskirts of the survival, but he's not hard to kill, and as soon as you kill him, all the panthers will die. But until you kill him, he's just going to keep spawning them in. But yeah, rounds 1 and 2 super easy, fly by them, and then as soon as round 2 is over, you can make your way to the vehicle which will take you to the next stage, which is the fields in which the crops are grown. But this is where rounds 3 and 4 will take place, and the best place to be in this survival is just along this main road and at the end of the road here, just because you don't want to be running through the fields, as that's where the zombies are going to spawn and it's quite hard to see them, and as well as that you can easily get stuck on some of the crops when you're running, which isn't ideal. So your best bet for this area is just to stick to the road where you can see. Now, obviously, as you'd expect, it's a little bit of a step up from rounds 1 and 2, but it's still not ridiculously hard. But we're introduced to a couple more zombie types, with the first being the undead boar. Works the same as any other undead animal, and these will spawn at the start of round 3. Pretty easy to kill, not much of an issue, and I believe this is the only area on the survival where these will actually spawn. But apart from that, we're also introduced to the splitter, which, as you might guess, when you kill them, split in half, and then you kill them and they split in half and they split in half until eventually you kill all of them. Now, what I've found to be the best bet for the splitter is to leave them till last, or leave them to a moment where you're not overwhelmed by other zombies, because as soon as you start shooting them, it's essentially like 8 more zombies attacking you. So what you can do is kill all the other zombies, leave them to last, and then deal with the splitter, as you can see what I'm doing here. This is a group of them I just left till last, or just when you get a moment to breathe and you're not being overwhelmed by zombies, then's a good time to take them out. If you start attacking them and minigunning them down when you've got a horde already chasing you, it's just going to add to it and overwhelm you a bit more. But a really cool zombie type, I can't lie. And then returning from last year, we have the mage, usually followed by a green cloud of smoke around it, but obviously Rockstar Editor isn't showing it, and they'll spawn these clouds around the map. Pretty easy to kill if, once again, you use a minigun. The best way to kill most of these zombies, I won't lie, but a couple of them will spawn in, I believe, round 4. And finally, for the fields, you'll also encounter the exploding zombie, which explodes. If it punches you, it will die and explode, causing a lot of damage to yourself, so ideally you want to avoid them. But when you kill them, they also blow up, so you can use this to your advantage. If they're in the middle of a horde of zombies chasing you and you blow them up, obviously it's going to send all the other zombies flying, or if not, knocking them over, killing them instantly. But yeah, again, not much to say for rounds 3 and 4, pretty straightforward. And once again, you make your way to a vehicle where you'll be taken to the beach. Now, the biggest tip for this area is if you come to this rock right here, you can actually climb on top of it and the zombies can't touch you. Now, obviously, it's quite boring because because this is basically cheating. But if you're ever overwhelmed by the zombies or you just want to breeze through the next few rounds, you can just come and sit up here. Now, rounds 5, 6, and 7 take place on the beach, and this is where you'll be introduced to the Juggernaut, obviously returning from last year. Once again, the minigun is the best way to deal with these guys, as they have a ton of health, especially in the later rounds as well. They have so much fucking health. But as well as that, we're also introduced to the final and most annoying zombie type, which is the zombie DJ. Now, when this guy appears, he'll make a noise, and your screen will have a funny effect for the full duration he's alive. But what this guy does is he slows you down and makes all the other zombies more faster, more aggressive, and it's quite overwhelming. When this guy's alive, it's going to be very hard to outrun the zombies. In fact, they're going to be faster than you, meaning you can quite easily get overwhelmed and die. So you really need to be prioritizing and killing this guy as soon as you can. And especially in the later waves, you can find a couple of them spawn at the same time, which is really fucking annoying. But yeah, quickly moving on. So that's rounds 5, 6, 7, all pretty much the same, pretty straightforward, just kill them DJs. And then you move on to the final location for the last 3 rounds, which is the North Docks. Now, this is quite a nice location because you have a pretty wide area in which you can run. However, for these last 3 rounds, especially starting from round 9, this shit gets difficult. All the zombies obviously now have more health, as you'd imagine, and you can even find exploding juggernauts, which are a pain in the ass. But the main thing you need to be doing at the North Docks is killing the zombie DJs as fast as you can, because it is so easy to get overwhelmed by them in the North Docks, because a lot of the times you'll have 2 or 3 spawn at the same time. And when there's this many zombies and they have this much health and they're now faster than you, it's so easy to get overwhelmed and die in these stages. A nice little tip is this dock here, especially if you're doing it with multiple people. It's a nice area just to sit and minigun the zombies. But if you're not going to sit here, just make sure you're always moving, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed, and just make sure to be taking out them zombie DJs. But once you get to this point and you do these last 3 rounds, you then get the option if you want to leave the Cayo Perico survival or if you want to do endless waves, and you can choose where you can do it. If you choose to leave, it's actually really easy. You just get in a squaddy, head to the airport and fly away. Nothing really that needs to be said on this final stretch. The zombies are all pretty shit, pretty easy. I'd say just don't stop to fight them, just get in the plane and take off as fast as you can. But as for some tips and tricks, the best weapons you can be using are the Special Carbine Mark II, the Assault Shotgun, and of course the minigun. Now, if you've got good aim, the Special Carbine Mark II is extremely good at popping heads. No matter what gun you're using, you do want to be aiming for the heads, because that's where they're most vulnerable. And the Special Carbine Mark II is a very good weapon to do this with. The Assault Shotgun is good at taking out hordes, and so is the minigun. But obviously, if the zombies get too close while you're using the minigun, they're going to be able to punch you and you can't really do much apart from run away. Whereas the shotgun, you can smack them in the face and it's just good to spray. But the main tip is use your snacks and armor. Now, if you open up your weapon wheel, you can see your snacks and armor, so just make sure you're replenishing them. I can't stress it enough, just make sure to stay on top of it. Now, explosives can be used in the survival, but I'd avoid using sticky bombs. This is because if you're holding a sticky bomb in your hands and you get attacked, it will blow up and you will die. The best thing you can do is use grenades, run and just drop grenades. And if you've got a lot of zombies trailing you and obviously, you know, they're following you and you're dropping grenades, it can blow some of them up. So just when you're running away, especially if the zombie DJ is active, it's a good way just to get a few extra kills in. But yeah, apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. Kill zombies, make sure you're running, and make sure you're healing. And in no time, you'll be able to beat all 10 waves and get the new outfit, because I can't lie, it's a pretty cool outfit. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap everything up for this video. If you do at all find this video helpful, please drop a like. And again, comment down below what your thoughts are on this new mode. I'm absolutely loving it. And if I did miss any tips and tricks, feel free to comment them down below. But as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.